So for the sake of this tutorial, I would say that we would start our details from foundation.
Okay.
All right, so if we are starting from the foundation, there are several ways by which you can do your details. It depends on which one you like to use. For the foundation, where you have typical footing, you can choose to represent it as just one, then put the number. Let us say okay, let me see an example. 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 meter by 1 meter, depth is 400. My depth is 400. 5x16 at 250, 5x16 and 250, both on both directions. And you can see that these two, they are the same.
Yes.
And I understand that we have a lot of them that are actually the same, 1 meter by 1 meter. Maybe even all of them, although apart from these ones that are combined footing.
Oh, combined footing, yes.
Sure, you get all other ones are 1 meter by 1 meter, and then reinforcement. What you check out for is the size, and then the reinforcement bar size too, with its spacing. So I've got 1 meter by 1 meter here, and I've got 5x16 at 250 for all of them. So what I would just do is that, for me, I will just, this is F1C8, 1C6, 1C3. I'll just copy this here. One C8, comma, 1C6, comma, which other ones do we have? C6, we have 1C3, 7, 5, 9. 3759. Okay. So we have 1C6. Then in here I have 1C7. Then I will have 1C5 here. I'm just trying to arrange them alphabetically. Then I have 1C9 here. Finally, 1C9. Abi? So I cannot delete all other things. And then, sorry, I forgot to put this. So these are the foundation details that shares the same thing. Now I cannot come here and delete this. So what I'm saying in essence is that this foundation, this part footing is 1 meter by 1 meter at depth of 400. And it is the same thing for 1C3, 1C5, 1C6, 1C7, 1C8, and 1C9. Now, I can now come and delete all of this.
Okay.
Can you see that it has reduced a lot of pages on my design?
Yes.
So I can now come here. I know this and this will probably be the same thing also. 1 meter by 1006, 1 meter by 1006. Unfortunately, the depth here is, okay, this is 500 depth. Then this is also 500 depth. And so this is 5y16 at 250, 8y16 at 250, 5y16 at 250. So they are typical too. F1C4 and F1C10 are typical. So I can delete F1C10 and just, come here, copy. So we know this is F1C10. F1C10. Do you get the logic?
Yes.
Then I can just delete it here so that can just delete. There is no, it's not rocket science. You can choose to detail the anyhow you want. You can decide to put your dimensions down here, then your numbering up here. It doesn't change anything as long as we know which one is for which one. Sure you get. So there is no specific way you cannot go about it. It's all about you can be dynamic with your details anyway. So now I would not just want to teach you how to detail or how to write out your not letterings and numbering without talking about the arrangement of your reinforcement on site. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now what I would do is, Gideon, I will just ask you a simple question. Have you worked on a site before?
No. No, sir.
Oh, okay then. How then are you sure of what design you are doing? How then are you sure that your design is you've not even gone to site to see what you are designing now? You are telling something. Are you doing it because of the money?
We are just going. We are going for it, so we'll see. We see everything, sir.
Sorry?
Like we are going for it now. There's that privilege to see it, sir.
But you've been designing before now, have you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Have you done a design for approval before that has gone to approval and they have built it?
No, not for approval, but for Aki students, sir.
For
The
architectural
assignment.
students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how have you been detailing?
I did not get it very well, sir. That one is for the assignment.
Oh, but it's for school work. It's for school work.
Yes, not for real distance, sir.
Not for yeah, I understand it. So now,
yes,
what I'm showing you, I would just try and explain how it works on site.
Okay.
Sure you get. Now,
yes.
According to this, I intentionally did what I have done so that I would so that at least by the time we do something that is a bit complex, by the time you want to do the little ones, it won't be a challenge for you. For this foundation that I have done, what can you say about it, Gideon? You know why
This foundation.
You know why I am talking
Yes.
to you is because I know that Engineer Femi is a site person, and we've worked together. So I know him that
Yes.
he understands all of these things. But then I believe you are still a student, and it's not a
Yes.
time to tell us what you don't know so that we can put you through. So
Yes.
what do you
saying this?
Yeah, what can you say about what you are saying?
I can see the reinforcement, the concrete cover.
Okay, so what's the concrete cover?
The concrete cover. Is the small portion where the concrete, like where it fits, the formwork, sha.
No problem. I understand you. That's the portion between your concrete.
Yes,
between
and
the
the
face of
formwork.
between the face of your reinforcement bar to the external part of your concrete. I get it.
Yes,
So,
yes.
what can you say about the reinforcement arrangement? My primary concern here is about I'm a reinforcement person.
Okay. So reinforcement I can see 16 millimeter diameter
Okay.
for the reinforcement.
So how is it going to be arranged?
5 5Y. I don't know the meaning of that 5Y, but
Okay, that's fine. Have you heard of the word doubly reinforced concrete section before? You would have done it in your
yes,
design for steel and
304.
timber. Sorry, concrete design.
Yes, sir. We have done that.
So does this look like a singly reinforced concrete section or a doubly reinforced concrete section?
It is a doubly reinforced.
Why is it doubly reinforced?
It is doubly because it has depth. Eh?
I can hear you, Gideon.
Because it has depth.
A singly reinforced concrete section will also have depth.
Eh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So no, don't disturb yourself, Gideon.
Okay, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you also see this?
Yes.
In most pad footing, I'll quickly do something for you now. So I'm going to quickly do this. So can you spot the difference between the two now?
Yes.
What's the difference? So Gideon, basically, when you are arranging a reinforcement bar, all the reinforcement bars have their different position. When you talk about reinforced concrete structures, when you talk about structural elements such as for your slab and then your, you have your bottom bars and top bars. Let me just quickly tell you about the basic reinforcement position. Basically, you have bottom bars and then you have top bars. But that is for singly reinforced. You have bottom bars and then you have top bars, generally. But you have your main bar and your distribution bar. So if you have a bottom bar, there is let me use slab generally as an example. When you have your bottom bars, you will have your B1 and your B2. Your B1 is generally your main bar. Then your B2 is your distribution bar. Some people call your B1 as BB. That is your bottom. Then your distribution bar, which is B2, some people call it BT, which is your bottom top. That is for your bottom bars. Then you now go to your top bar. Are you with a pen? Can you write it down, Gideon?
Okay.
I'm driving somewhere. I'm driving to a place.
Okay.
So let me repeat myself. Generally, Engineer Femi.
Okay, sir.
Sorry to bore you with this.
No.
So generally, you have your bottom bars and then you have your top bars. So on site, your bottom bars, generally too, you have main bars and distribution. So for your main bars, your main bars can be the one at the bottom or the one at the top, depending on the position of your main bars. But now the thing is, you have your bottom bar and you have your top bars generally. Under your bottom bars, you have your B1 and your B2. Your B1 is always the one that is at the bottom. The if grammar will permit, I will say bottomest bottom.
Okay.
Then your B2 is the one that is at the top of your bottom bar. That is the distribution bar for, in other words, is the distribution bar for your main bar, for your bottom bar. I don't know if I'm making sense. It may not make sense a lot to you now because you are not seeing it practically on site. So in this case, Gideon, this is your bottom bar.
Sir.
Because this is your bottom bar because it's the one at the bottom. Sure, you get this one that I've just clicked on is your bottom bar. Then this one is your distribution bar for your bottom bar. That is your B2. When this one is B1, this one is B2. When this one is BB, you know, remember I said some people refer to it as BB instead of B1. Then this will now be your BT, which is your bottom top. BB, bottom, BT, bottom top.
Okay.
Now, this section is singly reinforced, while this is doubly reinforced. You can see that this section just only have a bottom bar, then a distribution bar for your bottom bar. But this section here, it has a bottom bar. Then after the bottom bar, it has a distribution bar for your bottom bar. So it has a B1, it has a B2. Then for this one, it has a top bar. This is the top, this is your T1 generally, T1 or TT. Some people call it T1, some people call it TT. So it's the TT is your top. That's your top bar. Then this one is your top bottom or T2 because this is your main bar for the top actually. It's not going to be at the bottom or like this one. You know, this is your main bar for the bottom. This is your main bar for the top. I will come to, you know, I will probably I will explain that later. Why this is, you know, this is at the top and is the main bar, and then this is at the bottom and is the main bar. But then this is your main bar and is your top. But this is your distribution bar for the top main bar. And this is your top bottom or T2. So this one is your T1, while this one is your T2. Do you get what I'm? Do you want to start this session and just label it in your notes?
Yes, I've done that.
You've drawn it already?
Yes, I've done that. Yes.
Ah, sharp guy. Confirm. Okay, so that being said, that is how you will arrange it on site. When, let us say you have excavated your portion, you have excavated your soil, and then you know you have done your blinding. Can you see this part?
Yes.
This is what is representing your blinding, this part. So it says you should do a blinding of 100 mm. This is just for the sake of this tutorial. Sure you get?
Okay.
This is just for the sake of, I'm not saying that you should go and do 100 mm blinding. Your blinding is dependent on a lot of factors too. But generally, a lot of people use 50 mm. You get? So I won't want to go out, I won't want you to go and waste the money of your client. So that 100 mm is just for the sake of this tutorial. And then this is your blinding. After your blinding, you now lay your, you put your biscuits so that your biscuits, have you heard of concrete biscuit before?
Yes, sir.
So when you put your concrete biscuit, you lay
so
your
avoid corrosion.
Say it again.
To avoid corrosion.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, that's it. So when you say to avoid corrosion, it is in a way very correct, because by the time your bars are touching the soil,
yes,
it is going to be a problem. But the major purpose of your biscuit is to create the concrete cover below.
Okay.
Below your reinforcement bars. Do you get it?
Okay.
So that
Yes.
your concrete can fill in those places.
Yes, sir.
You get, if you say the purpose
Yes.
of blinding is to avoid corrosion, I would say that it is very correct. But then for your biscuit, the purpose is so that you can have that your concrete cover.
Okay.
But generally, the size of your concrete cover determines when your steel will begin to corrode also. So that was why I said you are in a way right the other time too. So I think we have about just 9 minutes. So I don't know. I want to believe you understand what I've done with these foundation details.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let me just finish with this foundation. For this, you would arrange for this. For this, you would arrange your bars. This bar you are seeing here. This bar you are seeing here is this. This is it. It is this is how you will lay it. Let us say you are looking at it from the top, from your top view.
Yes.
This is just the plan view.
Yes.
So this is how you will lay it, and then this is how it will be in section. You would always remember to put your, those anchors.
Okay.
Now, by the time you want to do your doubly reinforced, the meaning is that you will have to do an inverse of what you have done for the for the singly reinforced. You have done your main bar for the bottom. The same thing, you are just more like you are covering it with that same bar again, and that is what is done here. Do you get? Then it's going to have its own distribution bar. Do you understand what is done there?
Yes.
Good. It's the same thing for your combined footing. The only thing is that by the time you want to position your columns for your combined footing, you have to be sure where the position is really, because it's not separate excavation, it's still the same excavation. So you have to be very sure where your column bars where your column reinforcement bars will be placed, so that you don't have alignment issues. So generally, you need to be sure of where your column bars will be placed, so you won't have alignment issues on your site. Okay, so that is that about your foundation. About your foundation details. Let me quickly talk about the foundation layout. This is your foundation layout. I think we should do foundation. We should just finish up with foundation today. We can now do your beam and then your slab tomorrow. So let me just copy this. I'm about to do my foundation layout. Abi? So basically what I do is that, I can do this. I can decide to just do this. See what I have picked. I picked, just for it to be fast, I picked my rectangle.
Okay.
So this represents where the blocks would go.
Okay.
But you know that you will excavate more than the block section. So I will just offset 225. So let's say I'm doing 225 this side, doing 225 this side. But then this is not that is not the end. So now what I'll do is that I'll have to trim some places that I need to trim. Do you get what I'm trying to do here?
Yes.
Yes.
So oh. So basically what you want to show is your your block
But
lines and excavation lines. As you can see, okay, let me just do this because our time is going actually.
Sorry, sir. Sir,
I'm with you, sir.
sir.
I'm with you, sir.
I have flat battery. I have flat battery.
We will be done in 3 minutes now. If your will your battery be able
Okay,
to?
okay.
Yeah, we'll be done in 3 minutes.
Just 2%.
Oh, that's fine. I will meet tomorrow. I'll communicate the time to you. So as you can see, this is showing the excavation
Okay.
lines and then the block line. That is everything you want to show. But generally, it's going to look like this
Yes.
at the end of it. By the time you are done, what I do is I will just copy the
Okay.
stapler thing and then I will just go and place it there.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So that's just that about foundation. So by the grace of God, next class we will talk about the column. Then we will do the slab. If there is, we have time, we will do the beam too, so that we know that we are done. For when it comes to detailing, at least today, I believe you've been able to learn something, Gideon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, by God's grace, tomorrow we should be able to cover the sorry. By God's grace, tomorrow we should be able to cover the beam and then the slab.
Engineer,
Yes, sir.
engineer.
I'm with you, sir.